What I'm gonna speak on is the thing that's on my mind the most. You know what I'm saying? The thing that we all gotta deal with every day, but don't really know.
Yet again, applause what I might talk on is what's at the forefront of my thoughts. The most you understand what I'm talking about, what we as a whole got to manage consistently yet don't actually know the applause business, the businessman. It's not the equivalent, doesn't have to do with ability. It's tied in with playing the game. The business genuine is biting the dust to get in the business, just to find they don't fit in the business. Ain't what it used to be. The injury is attempting to control the manner in which you MC. They believe you should dress like this and talk like that. Yet I will dress like this and talk with the bat. How about we visit about how any individual who attempted to let the cat out of the bag on Diddy and Jay-Z wound up in some hot water or got hit with a insane mark, and presently nobody cares about them. So the unbelievable DMX was one of those gutsy people who evidently attempted to get down on Diddy for screwing with and abusing his craftsman, and Jay-Z for being chummy with the big cheeses. Currently quick forward to Pumaree's new meeting, spilling the tea on Diddy and Jay-Z. As per her, Jay-Z takes the cake for being far and away more terrible than Diddy. Clearly, there's an entire bundle of screwed up and obscure stuff that Mr. Shawn Carter supposedly did to move as he would prefer to the top. How about we start with X and his troublesome story, and afterward his endeavor into the music business? We'll check out DMX brought into the world on December 18th, 1970 in Mount Vernon, New York. Wasn't managed the simplest hand. His people were Arnett Simmons, 19, and Joe Barker, 18. DMX was the center youngster, with a more seasoned sister, Bonita, and later a sister named Shayla, and unfortunately 2 stillborn siblings. Barker, his father, watercolored compositions of road scenes in Philly. To get by in his initial days, DMX confronted savagery from his mother and managed bronchial asthma. He grew up as a Jehovah's Observer, yet dumped it after a mishap wrecked him at 5. His mother sent him to reside with family members in Yonkers. Subsequent to getting hammered from his mother, he got expelled from Central School at 10 and wound up in a gathering home. It is said that his mother thumped him up so seriously that she took out 2 of his teeth with a broomstick. At 15, he was back in Yonkers, crashing in void capacity containers and moving with homeless canines. On account of terrible levels, DMX couldn't stay with the Olympic-style events group at Yoner Center Secondary School. Broke as a joke, he turned to looting cohorts for food garments and, surprisingly, a calfskin choker and saddle for his canines. Soon enough, he began jacking vehicles. In the good old days. Back in 1985, DMX started off his vocation by thump boxing for a nearby rapper called Prepared Ron. They did these little gigs where Ron rapped and DMX gave the beatbox and advertisement libs. This person, ooh, Prepared Ron, you mean he resembled a more established sibling to me, and he would rap and I would do the beatbox after a piece. DMX saw Ron was hoarding the spotlight, so he chose to change everything around and began rapping himself. That is the point at which he embraced the name DMX, first representing heavenly expert of the obscure and later turning to Darkman X in the wake of serving a 2-year stretch for carjacking. DMX got into the verse composing game and performed at the neighborhood rec community for the children. Secured again in 888, this time for a similar carjacking. He bet everything on sticking verses and fighting different detainees. He even concocted a style considered entranced, where he explained each word letter by letter, basing off with future opponent K performance. Quick forward to 1991, DMX set up the Stretch Armstrong and Bobo show, dropping a fry that got him a few props in the Source's unsigned promotion segment. He continued to crush with mixtapes, and by 1992, he got gotten by the then obscure Harsh Riders Amusement. Columbia Records got on board with that fleeting trend, marking DMX to Tumult Records and Rough House Records. Yet, when his presentation's single Conceived Failure didn't explode like they trusted, he got the boot from Rough House and went it alone. In January 94, Death Row Records attempted to catch DMX in a joint endeavor with Unpleasant Riders, yet that plan never went down. I even heard they was attempting to sign DMX. I'm almost certain of that. I don't recall that explicitly yet. I'm almost certain of that, cuz when X was before he marked a dev jam, when he was on unavailable, essentially everybody needed to sign him like the entire business. Truly, Tupac was amidst shooting his amazing circles and hood flick over the edge, actually moving within Tomb Scope Records. Currently, here's where it gets fascinating. Get connects together with SH Night in New York, way before their death row time, she had recently snagged Pac into dropping a track for the homicide, was the case soundtrack, and hacked up 12,200K for the joint life so hard, albeit the first track didn't come around. Tupac and Sneak modified it Suge on his main goal to collect a hip jump dream group, additionally plunks down with Irv Gotti and the Unpleasant Writers to sign DMX Swiss Pulsates and Team to Death Row Records. The Harsh Writer originators spilled the tea, saying that were near making it happen, yet the terms didn't incline toward them. They were stressed their specialists could get the worst part of the deal, with Unpleasant Writer makers chiefly siphoning out thumps for West Coast craftsmen as opposed to zeroing in their Yonkers group Swiss Thumps rings, in sharing how Knight attempted to strong-arm them into an arrangement. You can see a depiction of two loading show Knight with the Harsh Riders in '94, despite the fact that DMX isn't in the pick word, is Death Row attempted to grab them up again in '95 in any event, flying them out to a ALA Inn where P should talk with DMX about East Coast traumatization in Vision, assuming this gathering had gone down the '90s music scene. Might have seen Death Row turning out to be much all the more a stalwart, marking DMX and the Harsh Riders would have fit right in with Death Row's arrangement to send off Death Row East in '97. Eric B. was set to be the president, and Craig Mack and Training Camp Snap were arranged as the primary signings. Yet here's the contort: Tupac never made it down the stairs for that gathering. He was needs somewhere down in different conversations, conceivably forestalling this uber-coordinated effort. DMX would later toss Conceal at Tupac's in freestyles and unreleased tracks in '96. Those equivalent verses would find their direction into DMX's '98 banger, Get At Me. K9 with the Tupac line traded out. Was DMX wanting consideration, or did he feel a piece scorn since Pac didn't move down to the In campaign? Anything that the case. Harsh Riders most likely avoided a disaster, yet the fantasy group of DEMXBV Gotti, Swiss Thumps, and Pac, waiting for capital punishment, would have been unadulterated fire. However, but we stalled DMX's excursion through the last part of the '90s and mid-2000s. So in the wake of crushing in the business for quite some time, his pal IR Gotti scored the gig as the leader of an A&R at Def Jam accounts, thanks to an exhibit for then-President Liar Cohen. DMX inked an arrangement with Def Jam in May 1997. Quick forward to 1998 to 2000. Where DMX was having some fantastic luck from April '97 to January '98. He was in the studio concocting tracks for his presentation collection. In the meantime, his appearances on Mama's 24 Hearts to Reside, Take What's Yours, The Lox, Cash Power, and Regard, and L Cool J's 4321, and had the publicity working. In February '98, he dropped his most memorable significant marks